Hello, welcome to Happy Catastrophe. I am so honored that you've chosen to come back and see my video today. And today we're going to talk about the February finished pages for February 2023. And unlike in January where I only did 4, in February I did an amazing 16. Now this is my coloring journal. This is one of them. This is where I basically just keep track of what, here I put in the beginning of the month, the hashtags that I want to follow. This was February's hashtags. There was quite a few of them that I was interested in. And then I put the finished pages. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That is nuts for me. My goal of every month is 10. So to get 16 is quite unusual and quite fun. Then I do write in this journal exactly what I used so that I can keep track of what's working in what book. However, I do have another journal that I will show you in my next video where I actually keep track. I actually print out the picture itself. I take a picture, I print it out, and I stick it into the book so that I can look through it like a portfolio of papers that I have, of images that I have colored. So if that is of interest of you, and it might be because I know it's of interest of me to see yours, I'll show that to you. I'll put these February pages in there and then give you a little rundown on that. Okay, so February, and I hadn't expected much, so I didn't prepare a great big spread for my wrap-up, so this is all I did. I did 16 pages. I did 5 color by numbers, and then just 11 regular old pictures, 15 hashtags, which is, this would be my second month of doing hashtags, and so I've really dove into them. I had destashed 4 books that I just wasn't using, and I'm down to 96 books. My goal is to stay under 100, so I'm still doing well there. And then in March, I'm hoping to do my normal 10, because 10 is my regular goal. And to do 5 hashtags, I think I'm on track for that. I wanted to start my own hashtag, haven't done that yet. And then I've got a YouTube goal, which I started my own YouTube channel on March 6th. So if you haven't seen it, it's Happy Catastrophe. It will be changing its name to Happy Catastrophe Colors, because I do have a small fan following of people who follow my humor blog and my Zen Buddhist lifestyle, and they're not necessarily into coloring, so I'm going to separate the two and do Happy Catastrophe Colors and Happy Catastrophe Zen. So, but I was fiddling around with the with what I could do on YouTube with all of the different ways I can customize it, and I accidentally locked myself out of changing the name. So I have to wait a few more days, and then I can change the name to Happy Catastrophe Colors, and it will be easier for you to find. But you found it today. Talking like I don't know what platform I'm on. So let's get to February pages. Let's start off with a non-coloring one, which is my Villain's Spiroglyphics. I used to be able to say that. It's Thomas Pavitt. These are fun. You guys, a lot of you have this one. This is what I do when I really, really can't think anymore. This one comes to work with me. They're just basically lines that you either do thick or thin. You just color the lines in. The lines look like this. And they're thick and they're thin. And you just take a pen and color them in. And it comes out with something like this. And then you can guess this is the one from Zootopia. That's Cruella de Vil. You know, that's Captain Hood. I don't know what they all are. That's the bad guy. And I have the names in the back, but but this is the guy from The Princess and the Frog. But if I look in the back, then I see the finished ones. I like to guess when I get it done. That's The Witch and Sleeping Beauty. What I did this time was, I think that's, this was Jafar, was this one. And I had to look up to see who he was. Now I have to look him up again. Dang it. Don't look. King Candy. He's King Candy. Anyway, these are a lot of fun. So if you have this book, or if you don't, you might pick it up just for mindless. You get yourself a fine liner and you just go. So that was the first one we're going to look at. Next ones we're going to look at are the color by numbers. And this is Mystery Mosaics. I'm really trying hard to love this stuff. The idea behind this book really is wonderful. Like, I can't tell what it is, and I just fill it out. However, I don't like them with anything, using any medium that I can see the numbers through. So I did this originally in alcohol ink, and I didn't like it. And I'm like, look, if I'm going to give this book the old college try, I need to try it in a medium that I'll actually stick with. And so I used acrylic paint pens, but I don't have really great acrylic paint pens. So I've got some on my wish list, and maybe I'll be able to afford them soon. But so I went back over with acrylic paint pens, and it's not bad. The whole purpose behind this book is it's the animal, and then there's something unexpected in the background. But the paper is like newspaper, and I don't find it very fun to work with. So I don't know. I keep giving it a try. So I did this one, and then I did this one. You know, and they're much prettier on the camera than they are in person. Believe me, in person, they are not attractive, I don't think. And then I just, oh, that one's for March. So those are the two I did for February. And I'm still working at liking them. I think I'm not crazy about the process, which is what I need to like to continue on in this. I just need to find out a good way to do it with this pretty icky paper. It's a sensory thing. I don't like the way the paper feels. So I have a really hard time with it. But that's that in Mystery Mosaics. Wow. Animals. Wow. All right. We have another color by number that I did. That's in these mystery colors. I know we all have love-hates with these. We want to love them, but there's so many browns. Oh my gosh. But I like Joe Bartos a lot. And so I did, again, this was one where I tried to do it in alcohol ink first. I missed a couple right there. And I ended up going over it in acrylic. And this was acrylic paint pen, yes. This is a fjord in Norway. And honestly, I think, yes, I did this one in February. I think I started it in January, though, but I decided I was going to, again, try as hard as I can to like this book, and went back over it with acrylic, which I like it better. And again, it looks much better in the camera than it does down here. And then this one is in the Alps, and you might recognize it from a Disney ride. It is the Matterhorn. This one, I actually painted it with acrylic, and because I could tell that there was big swaths of the same number, and that was really nice. I enjoyed that better. It was a better experience. I think I'd like it better if I had better acrylic paint pens. This is what they look like. Oh, sorry. Dang it. Don't mean to bump you. I've got my camera in a different place this time, so I have more room, but I keep bumping it. This is what they look like. They're pretty hard to tell what they are. But it's interesting. The thing is that I think this is one I did quite a while ago, and this one I did do in alcohol ink, which I have much brighter colors, obviously. I could tell right away I wasn't going to like it because I don't like being able to see the numbers, so I just started screwing around with all sorts of different bright colors, and it did call for a lot of bright colors. I mean, honestly, it did. So this one is a glacier-capped volcano in Iceland, and there's a waterfall that comes off of it. So yeah, I haven't done any others in here, but they're the kind of thing I should like, very detailed. The numbers are very clear. I'm still working on loving these books. Okay, I think we are done with the color by numbers. So let's start off with spooky. So I joined in. Let me get my handy dandy book out. I joined in a couple of hashtags for Zodiac. And this hashtag was the Zodiac Color Along 2023 with Coloring with Kate. And I also used it for Jojoza Hannah's Coloring Your Star Zodiac 2023. I'm not sure if that was right, though. I'm not exactly sure I understand that, that hashtag as well. But the Zodiac Color Along one, I'm doing every month. And so this was the month of, from January 21st to February 21st was Aquarius. And from February 21st to March 21st was Pisces. So there were two. In this one, I did Pisces, and I did this one. This is done all with alcohol markers. No pencils. It's just alcohol markers. Alcohol markers are my first love and the medium I'm most comfortable with. So this paper that Crook's books are printed on, which is a lot like Coco Wyo's paper, I find, is perfect for alcohol markers, I think. And again, I understand how they work. I understand that they will change color on this paper. This paper absorbs it rather than lets it kind of sit on top, and the colors change. And I know how the colors change, so I can gauge that and guess that and get what I want. Now, this one turned out exactly the way I saw it in my head, which I've said before, I don't often see things in my head. But I had a very limited color palette with this one, and I like it. And I have to also credit Amanda Colors for her palette challenges that she has every month, because that has encouraged me to do more pictures with limited palettes. And I find that when I watch your finished pages, I like the ones with limited palettes more. It's not my go-to. I usually vomit colors all over the page. So doing something like this is a challenge, but a fun one. I really, really liked it. Now, this book is a lot of fun. It is spooky. Coloring with Kate says, yeah, normally when I posted this one, she's like, normally I don't like the spooky ones, but that's pretty. So, but what I'm doing now is doing one spooky one and one not spooky one, because I really want to keep coloring in this book. I enjoy it very much. This was my second order of it. The first one I got, the printing was bad. My books are printed out of Las Vegas, and I found that about most of the time they're pretty badly printed. They got lines in between them, and they got, this is all icky, pixelated and stuff. And I send back about half as many books as I keep, but the one they always send me on a return is always better. So, I do it. I encourage you, when you get those Coco Wyo books or these books that looks like their printer was running out of ink when they printed your book, refund it. Return it. Amazon returns real easy, right in there. It was poorly printed, and I 100% when I've gotten the return within a week, and it's always perfectly printed. So it's a hassle, but they need to learn. Now, the few times I've got them printed elsewhere outside of Las Vegas, they were great. So I just think Las Vegas has a lazy printing group. Okay, something that the other Zodiac ones I did was out of this amazing book, Mythographic Cosmic Spirit by Fabiana Attanasio. Her artwork is just amazing. And this whole book is just beautiful. You've seen a bazillion flips. You're starting to see a lot of people coloring in this book. This is one of my favorite mythographics. So I'm doing something out of this one every month for the challenge. And here was Aquarius. And this was the first part of February, because that was the sign of Aquarius. This one's very dark, but I kind of wanted it that way because I interpret it as he's pouring out the night sky. So I again did a limited palette with the sky and my go-to galaxy purple, blue, and black. And then I made him almost glowing. Now he is done with pencils, and those would probably be Black Widows or my Spirofarbens. All this rest of this is alcohol ink, and I use Copic and Spectrum Noirs. And then there's some, I actually tried out some Faber-Castell metallic pencils right there. I like that color. In that set, that's the only pencil I like. It's not, I was disappointed because I love Faber-Castell, but that metallic pencil set is not my favorite. But the rest of this is alcohol markers with pencil on top. I had a lot of fun doing the Birds of Paradise flowers. I looked up inspiration for those. I like this one. It's a little dark, but it was good for my first attempt at doing all these stars and stuff, and my first try in this book. I think I'm fine with it. And then what I did was I did the Pisces one in here, which is this one. This one I like better. I took some inspiration from some of you, and although I did the lotuses and everything, I did them all in a limited palette, purples and blues, but I did the crystals in a light pinks and blues. I outlined them with white Posca to give them that, you know, that tried and true crystal look. But the fish, instead of making them even more colorful, I made them black and white, and I thought that would help them stand out in this bright background. I did them, although I did do alcohol ink basing for the flowers and the water, everything else, the fish are completely in pencil. I couldn't figure out how to base them with baking in black and white, and I really sort of wanted them to have that kind of soft look about them. This one is fixed, has been fixed, so that's why it's so shiny. And I also used metallic, I think I used a lot of metallic things trying to get this to look the way I wanted it to. Gel pen and that metallic pencil that I like. And that is my fishies. This was a learning curve for me, doing all this pencil shading and making it look like the fish were, you know, 3D and shiny. And some bits I did better than others, but I really like this one. I like this one a lot. I liked the original artwork a lot, so that made it really easy to color the picture. It came together really, I was kind of obsessed, and I did this in like 3 days because I just loved the picture so much. Yeah, so those are my hashtags, my Zodiac hashtags. Thank you both to Johanna and Coloring with Kate for starting me on this journey. I'm doing at least one, but probably 2 pictures of the Zodiac, of every Zodiac sign every month. All right, something fun I did was for Amanda Colors AC palette hashtag, where she puts out a palette and you color a picture just in that palette. I'll put a picture of that here, and I'll show you the picture I did. Now, this one's funny because I didn't realize that I had done the cover image. And I also didn't realize I did it pretty much just like the cover image. So obviously I was greatly influenced subconsciously. Here's my little mousey. Isn't she sweet? Now the difference, I did a darker blue because the palette had that dark blue-green in it. But this is what I did. I had a lot of fun with this. This book, these Magic Mouse books for me are nothing that I go really crazy on. I do mostly just alcohol markers. I don't usually use any pencils on it at all. And I didn't here. I did a little bit of pencil work in the broom here. But the rest of it is just alcohol markers and a little Posca. Isn't she cute? I love these books so much. This was the first one I did out of this book, so it was a color your hoard type thing, and I'm really excited to get into this book a lot. We are finally getting some sunshine. Today is March 10th, and it's the first day of sunshine, really big sunshine we've had in months, and so I may just keep this out and color in this afternoon. Okay, another color by number I did. I showed this last month on accident, so I'll just show you again. It's the elephant in here. My pretty, you know, poppy elephant, where I used every brown in my Sharpie collection. That's why they don't really match or go together. These circulism art books, I think, are a lot of fun. They're a little expensive, so I only have 2. But, and I'm working my way through this one pretty quickly. So I would be thrilled to finish this, and I know I will, because this one's so much fun. This is a memory book for me, because I always, as I said in my January pictures, I always remember what I was doing when I was coloring those and what mood I was in. And sometimes the mood I was in sort of influences the shades of the color that I pick. So I was in a bubbly, happy mood this day. I like that picture. Okay, next we have another color along. Amanda Colors is hosting the Sea of Colors hashtag color along. I joined in a little bit late, so didn't get a chance to do the picture for February, but I did another picture that reminded me of Valentine's Day. I was more drawn to it, so I decided to do that. Oh, this is the picture we're doing for March. In case any of you want to join along, hit up Amanda. Do the hashtag that I'm going to put up on the screen now, and you can color this picture. Now, I've said it once and I'll say it again. This book, fantastic picture, fantastic images, terrible paper. So this is the one I did. I showed this in my January pages. No, I showed this in my March plans because I was going through this book showing the page that we're doing. This was done all in alcohol ink and some glitter gel and some, I still can't figure out what that is. I think it's very, very I think it's glitter acrylic paint. I think is what it is. I think it's the Arteza metallic paint is what I think it is. I know that this is Arteza metallic paint. That's the crown and their tails. The rest is all alcohol markers and some Posca pen. I dotted some more Arteza acrylic paint, metallic acrylic paint around. For as much as I hate this paper, I love the way this turned out. You just have to find what works on this really, really thin paper. Alcohol markers seem to work really well. Acrylic paint, be very careful. Watercolor, I can't see working at all. I think the paper would just disintegrate. I even had to be careful blending the alcohol ink markers on this. But it was very enjoyable. A lot of fun to do this page. So I am looking forward to doing this snail with a city on his back for March. I busted into this one this month. This is a holy grail book for me. It took forever to find it, and I ended up finding it for $9 on Thrift Books. What's the download from Amazon? You order it on Amazon, but then the other one sends it to you. I think it's Thrift Books. $9, and it was brand new. I don't know if they just didn't know what they had, because you know, if you buy it straight from Amazon, it's $200. So I would, if I were you, I would just do what I did and continually check. I checked for a year and finally got it. So this book, the paper is unbelievable. It's just so thick and lovely. You can, you know, and it's soft. The experience of touching it is really pleasant. I love just opening this book. And I did this first picture. I have also, if you have Kindle Unlimited, which I think is an extra little charge on top of your Amazon Prime membership, but you can download a lot of Kindle books for free. And right now, his books are free to read on Kindle. This is David Peterson, and all of the Mouse Guard books are free. And so I have downloaded them and I'm going through them. They're beautiful. They're graphic book, comic book style. And it tells the story of Kelena is his name, Kelena's, huh? And he even didn't tell us how to pronounce it. And it goes through, and these images are all from, they're kind of mixed and matched all from several of the stories. Right now I'm reading The Black Axe. This is all from The Black Axe. So it's really fun to look at how David Peterson colored Kelena and his adventures, and then either replicate it or not. And I decided to go really true to him. So this is exactly even the same shade of blue, basically, of Cape, of how Kelena's portrayed in the books. So I think I might do that. I've been having fun finding a picture, finding it in the graphic novel, and then recreating it. So that's, I think, how I'm going to approach this book. I was terrified to get into this book until I started looking at those pictures. I'm like, I can do this. I did this all in, well, look at my handy dandy journal here. That's what it's for. I did it in Crayola Super Tip based. What? And then Polychromos on top. And I wrote, love this combo. Good thing I wrote that down because I would have never guessed, because I kind of don't like Crayola Super Tips, but I guess I must be learning to use them better because I do like how this picture turned out. So I'm using the Super Tips with Polychromos on top. Polychromos are my favorite pencil. And because of my hand issues and the pain I have in my hands, Polychromos works best for me because they require extremely light touch with many layers, and it works out really good for me, so I like it. And anytime I can use them, I choose to. They're just beautiful pencils. So yeah, that is Mouse Guard. And if anyone wants to buddy with me in a Mouse Guard, or any of these, if you have any books that I have and you want to buddy with me, pick a page and hit me up. I'd love it. Okay, I think I'm going to use my little book here. Why not? I did the Rita Berman Walk Through Asia. And for this one, I did the hashtag Magenta Color Along hashtag with Colorful Louisa. And I had so much fun with that. Magenta is the Pantone color of the year because we all need a little bit more brightness and love in our life. And I got every color of magenta of every pencil I had. This is pencil and gel pens, glitter gel pens, and distress ink, distress oxide ink, and some paint. And it was interesting because all of them said magenta. And look at all the different colors there are. So obviously magenta is a little bit, it's interpreted very loosely. But I really like how this turned out. This hashtag got me into a book I had not broken into yet and was scared to do. And got me using everything that I own to get all the different colors of magenta. But it was really fun doing a one color challenge. This is the only one color challenge I've ever done, and I want to do more because that was so challenging. And in the end, I really like the result. I showed it to a friend who wanted me to send it to him so he could put it on his wall, but I can't bear to part with it, and I don't want to tear it out of the book. So maybe I'll do a picture of it and try to get that to him. There is some glitter gel pen in there, a little bit of glittering going on. Fun one. I'd like to do more in this book and would definitely buddy color with anybody that wanted to do something out of this book. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. Okay, I finished a picture in here that I've been wanting to do forever. Now, this book is my most colored in book. Other than the Tatiana Bogema-Stolova's Halloween book, this one is my most finished book. I started with this one. This I did last year. This is done all in Tim Holtz watercolor crayons and then my Polychromos pencils and a little bit of glitter or a metallic gold paint. But I love the way the Tim Holtz watercolor crayons worked. Not crayons, watercolor pencils, the Distress watercolor pencils, those ones that I call pigment sticks. I love how they worked in this. They had that really bright pink, and I loved making the water and the sky pink. This one was a lot of fun. My first time ever doing fur, and I really like how it turned out. I made him kind of have that long, kind of greasy looking fur where it parts and you can see his skin underneath. And this is the picture I talked about in my March plans, where I meant to make a bamboo hat and I made one look like it's made out of metal. Because in March I showed you my January finished pages where I showed you the compass that I wanted to make look like metal, and I made it look like bamboo. Well, there's a bamboo hat that looks like metal. Did a great job of that. It's like he has a helmet on. Anyway, this was a labor of love. This took a long time, especially that fur, and I really loved it. Did you know that I looked up this castle, and it's the only one that's standing that's black, and it was very significant because it was black, so I tried to make it true to form black, but then I went ahead and made a hot pink sky, so who knows. And the next one I did in here, now these are, I'm just going backwards because you've never seen these because I'm a brand new channel. Next one I did was Baba Yaga. I wanted to make it look, this was shortly, I don't know, I still had the wildfires on my mind, so I wanted to make it look like it almost was on fire down here. And then it went up to this dark blue sky. This one, she's scary to me. Green skin just terrifies me. I had fun doing all the birches. I did this one in watercolor paint, the Rosa, which many of you asked me about. Let me pull it out. It's these Rosa Gallery watercolor paints. You can find them on Amazon very easily. Rosa Gallery even has a store on Amazon and sells them. This is one of the smaller palettes, but they have larger ones. They're extremely, extremely pigmented. And they're made by, I believe, a female-headed company in the Ukraine. So you're supporting the Ukraine and buying them. So they go in and out of availability because of the situation in Ukraine, but they're really affordable. They're beautiful, beautiful paints. I don't use any others, actually. This is the only watercolors that I have. I love it. If anything, I'd get just more of those. And that's what I did all this. All this is the Rosa paint. Yeah, and then it looks like I did pencil for the leaves. Yeah. Okay, then I have another one that's a whip that I forgot to show in my March plans. It is so close to being finished, I hate even calling it a whip, but I still need to work along the bottom here and do some more on their skin and that paper lantern up there. But she, I think the other thing I kind of got is she did not turn out the way I had envisioned. I knew that giving her a red kimono would be the most expected thing, and I kind of want to do something unexpected, so I gave her a green kimono with her green body and a red bow, and she looks straight out of some scary Christmas story. So that's not what I was going for, and it kind of disillusioned me. But then I got involved with making sort of a weathered, old, dirty paper walls, and that was fun. And making this look like weathered old wood, that was fun. And then I was having fun making kind of a shiny web. So I just need to get my polychromos out, get back in here and finish it, and then call this one done. But the one I did in February, yes, Candace, get back to it, is this double page spread. Now, this is the rainbow serpent in Australian Aboriginal creative myth. And this is where the rainbow serpent is what brings life and promise that disasters will not kill off everybody, sort of like the biblical rainbow mythology. That it's the same sort of thing, but of course much older. And you can see cave paintings in Australia with this rainbow serpent in it. I watched a documentary about it. It was very fascinating. And I did this entirely in paint, and I think I started with the Rosa paint and then forgot because I put this aside for a bit and went back in with gouache. So it's part Rosa watercolor, part gouache. You know, this Kirby paper will take anything. This is paint up here and then paint. And then there's, of course I used pencils for the shading. So it's a paint base with pencils for shading, a lot of metallic gold watercolor paint that's Kiritaki I always remember it when I'm off screen. Kuretake Ganzai Tombi watercolor paint. Oof. I like it. I like this one a lot. And I did this for Happiness Colors Kirby. She does hashtags, and then it's always a Kirby picture. And this one was the February one. And it was, I will put the hashtag up here. It was the Kirby First Love 2023. I also did it for Samway's Coloring, their hashtag of No Fear of Double Pages, because I love double pages. I don't do enough of them. They do take me a very long time. This one took me a very long time. But then the First Love, the whole premise behind it was to color a picture that either when you first opened that book, that's the picture that drew you to it, or a picture that reminded you of love. And this one was both. When I first opened this book, I loved this page. I just never took the time. I did single pages, but Nessa's hashtag got me into this page, which is the one I've always wanted to do. And I always wanted to do it like this, as if she were a rainbow herself, bringing in her, you know, she's kind of coiled, and then her tail right here brings another rainbow. And I wanted to make it stormy and she's the center of attention. This time I made the ocean purple with a lot of Posca white because it's a rough ocean, very stormy day. And this turned out exactly like what I wanted and was so pleasurable to do. I love doing every single one of these medallions. I looked up Aboriginal art colors online and tried to make them all the colors that you would see in Australian Aboriginal art. And had so much fun. Again, I tried doing some penciling, making that look like metal. I think I was closer this time. And then I was like, let's call that good. And we'll just paint everything I want metal, a metallic paint. That's easier. But she glows, she's bright, she's pretty, and she brings a lot of happiness to my face when I look at her, which was the whole point of the hashtag. So yeah, this was one of my favorite pictures this month. Okay, a few left here. Then we got into one of my favorite books. This is a favorite book of mine, and I haven't done enough in it, by Eric Barrett, The Magical World. I've seen some of you have this one. My first picture was just to try out mediums. I did this months ago and found out that I love the way, again, on this kind of crummy paper, but it's better than that really, really thin newspaper. This is like thicker newspaper feel. This is more like one of the better Coco Wyo papers. But alcohol markers work the best. So this is almost all alcohol markers except for some glitter for the dragon. So knowing that I could make something that I enjoyed, I decided to choose a picture for fairies, February fairies. And winged things. There were a couple of hashtags that I'll put up on the screen that were for fairies and winged things for February. And this is what I did. I couldn't decide if she was a fairy. I mean, she has the ears of a fairy, but she's kind of like an angel. And then she's kind of like, what is she? Is she like a creation goddess? Because I feel like she had a world in her hand. I don't know. And I felt like she was flying along in this storm of clouds with this Thunderbird thing flying with her that's also made of fire. And I just found her so beautiful. I love his artwork and I love his vision. I think he's fantastic. And I had a lot of fun with her. I tried a lot of different things, and some things worked and some things didn't. And the ones that didn't, I went over it again. So this went through a lot of ugly phases, this picture did. But I ended up with something I really enjoy. This is all alcohol markers here with some of that gold paint. And then her hair has several layers of stuff in it because I didn't like what I first did. But it's based with alcohol, and then I think has a little bit of pencil work in there too. And then has the gold paint, the Kuretake gold that I like so well. That Kuretake Gold, I showed it I've shown it before, but it's this one. The one that I'm using it all up of. Fantastic. So the clouds, though, were my biggest joy. Of course, once I got all this done, I didn't know what to do with her dress. I wanted to make it very neutral, so I made it kind of this burlap-looking stuff, but I did put gold paint over it and made it shine. I didn't want it to really show up. Everything else needed to be what the focus was on. But the clouds, now the clouds, I had in my head pretty much what they look like here on the paper. Pink and blue. For some reason in my mind, stormy clouds have a pink hue to them. And so I did that. This is alcohol marker with pink and gray alcohol markers and blue pencil in there. And then a silver metallic paint, which is probably an Arteza paint. Let me look at what I wrote. Yeah. And then what I did in the background was I put some, I dotted it with some of those metallic paints, but you'll see the shiny blobs. That's nail polish again. That's that clear nail polish that's got gold glitter suspended in it. Again, just from my hoard of nail polish that I'm never probably going to use again on my nails. So let's use it in art. I really like the way her wings shine. I love the way this finally turned out. I love the fact I screwed up on her lips and eyes and made them too black, and then I liked it that way because that just makes her more mysterious. I don't know why I made that ball in her hand look like a green marble, but I did. I wanted it to make it look like an unformed world, and green seemed to signify life to me, but there's no other green on the page, but that was also the point. I wanted it to kind of like be a focal point, but I could have probably chosen a blue that would have been better. But can you hear the crows? I've got my screen doors open, so you're probably hearing some wildlife from the forest out there. Yeah, so that one was a lot of fun. And I think that is all that I have. Yes, that's it for February. You've seen them all. So if you have any of these books and you would like to do a buddy color with me, hit me up. I am Happy Catastrophe on Instagram and here. Those are the best ways to reach me. Any of these would be wonderful to color in again. Probably not this one, but maybe, because this one I work in every month anyway, but I do the zodiac sign. This one too, I do the zodiac sign. So any of these would be fantastic to work in with you. I have enjoyed meeting all of you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Happy coloring. I'll see you in my next video.